Okay, I welcome you all with love. Today's the power of sunlight, and this is where I actually stand twice a day. I'm barefoot on the ground, we're looking at the mountains, but it's the power of sunlight that I'm talking about, because sunlight is really, really important for us. And I know some people don't have sunlight around, then you need to use a sun lamp. Sunlight's very, very important. For me, it isn't just the sunlight. I'm barefoot on the ground. I'm surrounded by these energy of the mountains, and I'm taking in the vital force of the sunlight. Now, let me explain that generally we take in the sunlight through the food, particularly your leafy greens. Okay? Then we eat the leafy greens, and the sunlight through chlorophyll comes into us. Well, you can also take the sunlight in directly. And I didn't really think about this until I was doing in my fourth year of the Native American sun dance, where I did what we call the eagle dance, where I'm out in the sun from sunrise to sunset, really actually for 24 hours. And surprisingly enough, I didn't get sunburned. Really, I had lighter skin than everybody else. What happened? Why did other people get sunburned? Why didn't I get sunburned? Well, it's because I eat the sun. I eat the live food. I'm taking in the sunlight energy, and literally, I'm actually literally taking in the sun into my skin, so I don't get burnt. And I saw research with Joanna Budwig doing cancer research with people. When she put them on live foods, they could be out in the sun 4 times longer. So when we go live food, we're able to literally eat the sun directly. So that's a pretty important thing. Now, one of the other really important things we get from sunlight is it really been proven, obviously, to activate vitamin D. And we need a certain amount of vitamin D levels to keep us healthy on multiple levels. That's what's key. You know, the vitamin D stimulates our immune system. It literally increases our cognitive ability by about 60% as compared to other people who are not getting enough sun. So people who had adequate vitamin D levels had 60% better cognitive function and less cognitive decline. So that's one area. That's obviously pretty important for most people. We also know that it's very good for protection for upper respiratory disease. Research has shown over the years, like as far back as 2012, that if people have adequate vitamin D levels, I'll explain what that is. It's a minimum of 30 IUs. You have to check with your blood sample. I like people to be around at least 60 IUs, 60 to 80 IUs for optimal. But if you're at least 30 IUs, you're going to have literally 50% upper respiratory infections and lung infections. And in babies, it's about 56% less upper respiratory infections. So it helps support the upper respiratory immune functions against that. Now, we also know it's very good to protect us from heart disease. And what we're looking at is a study of 10,000 people. People who are low in vitamin D had 40% higher risk of heart disease and 64% higher risk of heart attack. Now that's pretty significant. So that's what we're talking about. Cancer. Vitamin D has been shown to protect us against all kinds of cancer. Apparently there's a particular protein that vitamin D stimulates and normalizes that controls cell reproduction. Vitamin D is also good protecting us against osteoarthritis. This is all well documented in the literature. And then we also obviously talk about it in terms of skin. People say, don't be out in the sun, you're going to get skin cancer. Well, it's a relative kind of thing. research shows if you're out in the sun for 15 minutes, 3 times a week, you will get your adequate vitamin D. I mean, the truth is here, you can see it's pretty sunny, and I'm out here 15 minutes twice a day, taking my D, taking the energy of the earth, taking the energy of the air, and the energy of the sun. So, and that's a long-term type thing. Now, in terms of arthritis, just to make a point, 3 out of 4 people suffering from osteoarthritis actually are deficient in vitamin D. So again, make the point, blood levels of 30 or above are considered adequate. Now, in terms of skin, upper respiratory, it's interesting that people who have adequate levels of vitamin D, 86% of the people who had any kind of upper respiratory type of infection had a mild case versus 73% with our current kind of concern about it having a more severe or critical infection. So adequate vitamin D, which is really not that high, 30 IUs, makes a big difference. And the range of severity of infection versus your adequate vitamin D are somewhere like between 9 and as much as 19 times more. So what are we saying? We want to get sunlight. We want to get stimulation for our vitamin D. We want to get our vitamin D levels up. And the truth is, if you live in places where there's not too much sunlight, then you need to take a supplement. That's kind of really the bottom line of that story. If you're vegan, vitamin D is available in certain extracts from mushrooms. But the key is, vitamin D is essential for all of our health. Not just upper respiratory, we're talking about heart, we're talking about cancer prevention, we're talking about osteoarthritis, actually we're talking about diabetes, we're talking about generally building an immune system. So it plays a huge role in our overall health. So please, get your sunlight. Don't be afraid of it. 15 minutes, 3 times a week, or what? That's a minimum, I would say, at least 3 times a day. If you can't get it, then you'll need to get go to a tanning saloon or something, or get a special lights you need to do it, because obviously there are places in the world where you don't have that much sunlight. But the key is, we do need vitamin D. We can get it naturally by getting out in the sun. Of course, you're breathing the fresh air, and you're being vitalized by the life force of the planet. So may everybody be blessed that we get this outer light transferring to inner light. So I'm going to also make a correlation, a little bit of metaphor, with the idea of as we take in the outer light, may we also convert that outer light to the inner light and build up our total selves as light beings, as healthy light beings. So may everybody be blessed with this information. Everybody find a place to take in that vitamin D as much as you can, that life-giving sunlight. Humans were meant to have some sunlight. We're actually meant to have all kinds of light. So may everyone be blessed. I'm just going to kind of look into this a little bit. Take the energy in. Peace be with you. Enjoy your meditation. And may the sun always shine in your life. Amen. Aho.